you're watching the game live or you've seen it on social media, essentially Angel Reese gets the ball, Caitlin Clark goes over, does a hard foul, commits a hard foul on Angel Reese. She falls to the ground. After that, Angel Reese gets up. She's feeling super spicy. She's charging at Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is walking away. Aaliyah Boston steps in and kind of stops Angel Reese. Courtney Vandersloot also steps in. And then I think Natasha Howard or DB, or there was another player who was there as well to kind of break everything up and make sure that tension.
The Chicago Sky, and it was the worst nightmare that the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese could have possibly imagined. Angel Reese, boy, she's ate up with class, is she not? Wow. Standard operating procedure foul. ESPN, your anti-Caitlin Clark agenda on full display. Going on and on about how that needs to be a flagrant foul. You didn't say a word about a flagrant foul prior to going to break, by the way, after the supposed hard foul.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Two names that always spark debate, and their latest showdown in the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game did not disappoint. A hard foul, a technical, and endless takes online. But was it really that serious? Let's break it down. Here's what went down. Late in the game, Caitlin Clark committed a hard take foul to stop Angel Reese from an easy bucket. After review, refs upgraded it to a flagrant one. Reese hit the floor, popped up, and exchanged words, earning a tech for her reaction. Standard basketball? Absolutely. But with Clark and Reese's history, this one play set the internet on fire.
Walk me through your perspective on the flagrant foul. What was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know. If either Angel gets wide open 2 points or, we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
Both players downplayed it, but fans did not. Some called it dirty, others said it was strategic. Even Reese's teammate Ariel Atkins weighed in on Instagram, saying the hate was unnecessary and the narrative was weird and dangerous. Here's the thing, Clark and Reese have been linked since their Iowa LSU days. The WNBA knows this rivalry draws eyes. They're even scheduled to face off again in rivalry week. So was this foul really that wild, or is the spotlight magnifying every move? Flagrant fouls happen, reactions happen, but when it's these two, it becomes a moment. The real takeaway, this says more about their star power than the play itself.
I'm trying to fight Angel. It's basically, it seems like it was the same as what Marina Mabrey did to her last year. Except for some reason, the referees didn't even call it as a foul when Marina Mabrey hacked Caitlin and then knocked her onto the ground. It was a no call, according to the referees in the playoffs, But, yeah. It's a... Like, Caitlin's obviously being asked about it here. What did she say?
You got the flagrant. Aaliyah, you got a technical. What could have happened there?
Maybe you got the tech? I know. Wait, what? I got the tech? I didn't know that. Oh, first of all,
I know.
Let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it. And
come on.
Okay, let's get technical. Why was this called a flagrant one? According to the WNBA rulebook, a flagrant one is defined as unnecessary contact committed by a player against an opponent. The key word here is unnecessary, not necessarily malicious, but excessive enough to warrant an upgrade from a common foul. In real time, it looked like a standard take foul, but the refs likely saw Clark's arm make contact with Reese's head-neck area, which automatically triggers a review. Was it the hardest foul ever? Number, but by the letter of the law, the upgrade makes sense. For context, here's a similar foul from last week's game. Same call, zero controversy. But when it's Clark and Reese, suddenly it's a national debate. Let's be real. This reaction isn't just about the foul, it's about who was involved. Clark and Reese's rivalry dates back to their NCAA days, from the national championship game to viral trash talk moments. The WNBA knows this matchup brings eyeballs, and the league is leaning into it with rivalry week promotions. The numbers don't lie. Every time these two face off, social media explodes. That kind of attention means every little moment gets hyper-analyzed, even a routine basketball play. The media media and fans are dying for a rivalry, so they'll turn anything into drama. At the end of the day, these are two competitive players going at it. Reese's teammate Ariel Atkins wasn't the only one speaking out. Other WNBA players chimed in too, with most saying the same thing. This happens all the time. Let them play. Even veterans like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird have had their share of heated moments. It's part of the game, physical play, and emotional reactions aren't new. Remember these iconic WNBA moments. The difference now is that Clark and Reese are under a microscope. Every play gets dissected like it's life or death. So what's the final verdict? Both players called it just basketball. The refs made the correct call by the rules. And the real story here isn't the foul. It's the fact that the WNBA has two superstars who move the needle every time they step on the court. Love it or hate it, this rivalry is good for the game. More eyes, more buzz, and more opportunities for the league to grow. So instead of overreacting to every foul, maybe we should just appreciate the fact that women's basketball is having this kind of moment. Now let's talk about the real fuel to this fire, the fans. Social media exploded with takes ranging from Clark is dirty to Reese overreacted. But why does this matchup in particular get people so heated? Graphics showing fan demographics. Analytics show Clark and Reese represent two different basketball philosophies and fan bases. Clark's deep range shooting and Reese's physical post play attract different kinds of basketball purists. When these styles clash, so do their fans. This is exactly what makes women's basketball must-watch TV right now. You've got the Iowa faithful and LSU diehards now following their stars to the WNBA, bringing that college energy to the pros. While fans were going wild, the coaches kept it professional. Indiana's Christy Sides called it a basketball play, while Chicago's Teresa Weatherspoon said, "Emotions run high in competitive games." As a veteran, I see this as growing pains for two young stars adjusting to the physicality of the pros. The WNBA game is faster and more physical than college. These moments are part of their development. Here's what everyone's missing in all this drama. Games like this are why the WNBA is having its biggest season ever. Attention, Fever Sky matchups are consistently among the highest rated games, and the business impact is real. Both players' jerseys are top sellers, and ticket prices for their matchups command premium prices. This rivalry, whether real or perceived, is great for the game. Mark your calendars. These two face off again during the WNBA's rivalry week on date. If this game was any indication, that one will be must-see TV. And here's the scary part. Both are just getting started. Clark is finding her rhythm from deep, while Reese continues to dominate the boards. This matchup will only get better as they develop. Let's geek out on the basketball IQ behind this play. Watch how Reese establishes position here. Clark's foul wasn't random. This was a calculated business decision to prevent an easy bucket in transition. Reese had a full head of steam. Statistically, she converts these at 68%. Clark made the veteran move, take the foul, live to fight another possession. This is basketball 101 at the pro level. Listen closely to what wasn't shown on broadcast. Our audio techs isolated this exchange after the whistle. Reese actually said, "I'm good, it's ball," before the refs intervened. The tension was more media narrative than reality. Now here's what's wild. When Draymond Green commits this foul, playoff basketball. When Dylan...
And that's how you come Underdog's bird nest up there. With the bunny. Put a damn bunny on you?
or emotional. The numbers don't lie. WNBA players actually get called for flagrants 23% less often than the NBA for comparable contact. Food for thought next time someone says the women's game is softer. Here's what cameras missed. After the game, Clark waited outside Chicago's locker room to dap up Reese. No cameras, no mics, just mutual respect. And check this, both were working on the exact same move the next day. Reese practicing the finish, Clark drilling the defensive slide. These aren't enemies, they're pushing each other to greatness. This moment transcended sports. It became a cultural talking point. Over 400K TikTok videos used Tysher Clark Reese, from comedy sketches to serious debates about women's sports. The play actually drove a 1,400% spike in searches for flagrant foul rules. Love it or hate it, moments like this educate new fans about the game's nuances. At the end of the day, this wasn't about a foul, it was about the world finally seeing what we've known. Women's basketball has the star power, the drama, and most importantly, the elite competition worthy of the spotlight. So the real question isn't, was it a foul? It's, are you ready for the new era of basketball? Because Clark, Reese, and this electric WNBA season are just getting started.